If you find yourself always feeling empty, like you're pouring yourself uncontrollably into the people in your life, trying so hard to please them, trying so hard to figure out what it is that they want, what it is that makes them happy, what it is that makes them want you, what it is that makes them choose you, then you are making this fundamental mistake that is putting you in a position to constantly deplete yourself, in some way feeling like you're working towards something, you're working towards being loved and towards being chosen, but what you're really doing is just depleting yourself. You're not working towards that goal. If anything, you're walking further and further and further away from it. And let me tell you why. Because the biggest mistake that you are currently making is that you are building your home in other people. You're building your home in other people, hoping that they will welcome you at the end of the day. You think, if I invest all of this in this person, in this shared emotional space that I believe I'm working towards, then I have something beautiful to come to at the end of the day. And it's true, you are building something beautiful, but you are building it outside of you. So what happens when you build anything outside of you is that the power over whatever it is that you're building is not within your hands. It's within the hands of the person who you're building that beautiful home within. So when they decide to walk away from you, when they decide to walk away from everything that you thought you were building together, you end up feeling empty. And that emptiness is so valid because you literally poured so much of yourself outside of you. And now all of that is gone. And so you're going to feel empty. You're also going to feel like you're so used to giving so much, and now there's no place where that giving is actually going to. So you feel useless in some way. You feel like you have all this love and kindness to give and all this energy and all this attention, but it has nowhere to go. And I don't know if you've ever heard this quote about grief, but it's very short, very simple. It says, "Grief is love with nowhere to go." So you feel that emptiness, you feel that uselessness after somebody walks away from you because part of you is grieving not only what you thought you had with them. It's not just because you had hopes and dreams of where your life with them would go and now that's gone. It's not just because of the memories you shared with them that you can no longer share with them. It's not just because all of the love that you have for them that has nowhere to go. It's also because you have been so used to waking up every day and thinking, what would make them happy? What do I need to do today? What can I be of service through? And now you have all these questions, all these things that you're so used to doing, but there is no place to receive them. And you have been conditioned over the years to believe that your value is equal to what you are able to provide. That I do, therefore I'm worthy, instead of I am, therefore I'm worthy. If you've never been used to seeing your worth based on just your presence, your existence, who you are, that's going to be very hard for you to actually experience because you've been conditioned that your mere existence doesn't have any inherent special or unique value. It's only what you are able to do. It's only what you are able to provide to other people to make their lives easier, to make them feel better about themselves, to help them see themselves and the world around them in a much better way. And so you spend all of this soul, energy, and space and attention that you have, hoping that by doing things for others, you can feel like you deserve that they love you or that they do things for you. But I want to ask you a question. When was the last time you made someone earn your love through things they did for you. When was the last time you made someone earn your love through the things that they do for you? I guarantee you, if you're watching this, you are the type of person who very quickly loves people and cares for them just for who they are. You don't make people earn your love. Yet somehow you are attracted to people who make you earn their love. They make you work hard to just exist in their lives, to just be welcome in their lives. So when I say the biggest mistake that you can make is to build your home in another person, this is what I'm talking about. You're pouring your whole self into somebody else, hoping that they will tell you, welcome. You can come and have access to all of this stuff that you've been giving me. And you are giving all of your power away. And I'm not saying that giving of yourself is giving up your power. That's not what I'm saying. But giving up all of yourself, waiting desperately for someone to choose you or love you, that is giving your power away. That is what's keeping you feeling like you are so worthless unless somebody says, I choose you. I love you. I want you in my life. Now, we know that this stems from your childhood patterning. We know that if you have developed the belief over the years that you need to work extra hard to earn a parent's love or a caregiver's love, you're going to go for the same people in your adult years because you are trying to change the ending, which is usually that belief that says, I am not worthy. You are trying to change that ending by changing one ending. If every story in your life has led you to confirm the belief that you are not worthy of love, then you think by trying to convince that one person to stay with you, that one person to not abandon you, if you can convince them, then all of a sudden, that ending that you always go to that says, I am not worthy of love, is going to change. But that's not the truth. You don't change your beliefs about yourself by changing someone else's mind about you so that you could change your belief about yourself. You change your belief about yourself, and the only people who will stay in your life are the ones that already see you as worthy. They're not ones where you have to convince that you are worthy. What story do you want to tell decades from now to your grandchildren or to your nieces and nephews or to the people who are just listening to you talk about your life? Do you want to say, I ended up with that person because I tried for years and years and years to get them to choose me? Is that the story that you want to say? Or do you want to say, I was with this person because through loving them, I fell more and more in love with myself. I fell in love with this person and chose them and stayed with them because through being with them and seeing myself through their eyes, I saw a much better version of myself because that's what they saw in me. That's what they reflected back to me. That's the story you need to be aiming to tell. But when you build your home in the wrong people, especially those who are takers and never reciprocal in their giving, never reciprocal in their energy the same way that you are, all you're doing is you're pouring your whole self. You're becoming empty. They're becoming full. And maybe they're not becoming full. Some people in our lives are like buckets with holes at the bottom. It doesn't matter how much we pour into them. Whatever we're giving them is leaking from the bottom. It doesn't stick. But I don't want you to focus on that. I want you to focus on the kind of effect it's having on you to be constantly giving of yourself, but never to yourself, always to other people, thinking that whatever it is that's within you only has value if someone else sees that value. What if today you decided that instead of waking up and thinking about that one person or those people in your life who you really want to please, you really want to make them happy, you really want to do whatever it takes to make sure that you are holding up that standard that they have for you. Instead of doing that, you ask yourself, what would make me happy today? How can I please myself today? And if you can't see you today, think of little you. What can you do for little you today? It could be something as simple as taking little you to the grocery store and getting the candies that you liked because when you were little, somebody decided that you didn't deserve that just because that was their mood. Could be as little as making little you a silly meal that they enjoyed, that they always had to work really hard for. It could be as simple as resting. It could be as simple as going for a walk. And it could be as big as deciding to no longer be in the lives of those who treat you like absolute crap. You get to decide today how you want to shift your focus from what can I do for others to feel like I am worthy to what can I do for myself to remind myself of my worth that is already there. It's already existing inside of me. You get to decide that. Stop building your home in other people hoping that they will deem you worthy of their welcome. Stop giving so much of yourself hoping that you will get a little bit back. Give that to yourself instead. And don't lose hope, because I know sometimes we fall into shame thinking, I've been this way my whole life. How am I going to change? And even if I do change, I'm going to think back to all the people who I gave so much of myself to, and I'm going to end up feeling like such a failure. Like, I'm so dumb. I'm so stupid. I spent all those years doing that, and I'm going to fall into that shame. Sure, you might fall into a little bit of shame, feeling like something must be wrong with you for giving so much of yourself for so long. And that, that tape plays in your mind and says, you knew that you shouldn't have continued with that person, but you did. So something must be wrong with you. And you will literally go through moments where you are 1000% convinced that something has to be wrong with you. And you will say it out loud to yourself. And in moments like that, this is what I want you to remember. It will take you to much more deeper places in your life, to much more powerfully healing and therapeutic places in your life to choose compassion over judgment. We usually choose compassion over judgment with others, but we forget that we have the choice to do that to ourselves as well. The next time you find yourself judging yourself for all the bad decisions you've made in the past and all the self-abandonment and all the betrayal and all the self-sacrificial moments that you had, say to yourself, I am consciously choosing compassion over judgment. I so easily give that compassion to others. I deserve some of that too. Yes, maybe I knew better, but there was a part of me that didn't think I could do better. There was a part of me that didn't think I could survive doing better. There was a part of me that was terrified of saying no after years of saying yes. There was a part of me that was so worried that I would be looked at as less than or like I'm too full of myself if I put myself first. There was a part of me that was so scared of the label selfish when that label was just that I was being self-loving, but I just didn't see it that way. That's what self-compassion looks like. You become, in a way, your own advocate. Imagine like you're in court and you are defending yourself and you become your own lawyer. You become the person who comes up with all the excuses, if you want to call them, for why it is that you abandoned yourself so much, for why it is that you betrayed yourself so much and sacrificed so much of yourself. And it's not to say that you shouldn't take any accountability and say, you know what, I really should have made better decisions back then. It's not about completely ridding yourself of accountability. It's more about understanding that in order for you to move forward with your life and to change those patterns, shaming yourself by saying something must be wrong with me is only going to keep you stuck in those patterns, because it's telling you there's no other way to be. You've been this way for this long. You can't be any other way, but you can be. You can decide today, instead of continuing to build your home in somebody else, in something else, whether it's a job, a dream, a friendship, a relationship, being so consumed with what your family thinks of you, trying so hard to be the perfect daughter, the perfect son, etc. Instead of building your home in other people, start building that home within. Start asking yourself, what would it look like within me to get me to actually want to touch base with myself first before I try to get validation from others? Do we need people in our lives? Absolutely. This is not about saying, I don't need anybody and I'm self-sufficient. And no, it's not about saying that. It's about saying, I get to choose who I want in my life based on whether they honor the fact that I am my own person, that I have my own needs, that I have my boundaries, that I have certain lines they can't cross. Once you invest all the love and kindness and forgiveness and compassion and that vulnerability and being proud of it within yourself, it will be very hard for you to break off pieces of yourself, hoping that someone else will find you light enough to carry you and contain you. Because you will be able to sit with that heavy depth of yours that makes you as valuable as you are. You are able to spend time with that. You are able to take pride in who you are. And what it looks like in real life for you to chip pieces off yourself in order for others to find you light to carry is you start saying, I don't have needs. I'm fine. I'm fine with the littlest crumbs that you can give me. I don't need much. You become that, for women, we call her the cool girl. You become the cool girl that's like, I'm fine with anything. I don't need anybody. You welcome me, you welcome me. You don't, you don't. But beneath that, there is a deep, deep disconnection with yourself, because you are so afraid that if you did show that you have certain needs and expectations and certain boundaries, that others are going to say, that's too much for me. You know what? Be too much for people, because the wrong people will fall out of your life. If being yourself makes you too much, the people who can't contain you as you are naturally going to say, you're too much for me. I don't want you. And will that hurt? Yes, especially if you've been conditioned to earn love, and especially if you've been conditioned to equate your worthiness of love based on how many other people can love you. It will hurt, and let it hurt, so that you can remind yourself that the reason it's hurting so much isn't because somebody didn't choose you. The reason you're hurting so much is because you chose yourself. It's been so easy over the years for you to not choose yourself because you over-exaggerated what others choosing you means to you and how much it actually adds to your life. And now all of a sudden, you're saying, I don't want to be chosen by others anymore at the expense of me not choosing myself. So it will be painful, because the less painful way has been in the complete opposite direction. It was away from yourself, and now you're walking closer towards yourself. So it hurts, but it hurts while it's bringing you home to yourself. So this is the message that I want to leave you with today. Start building your home within, brick by brick. If you don't know where to start by asking yourself, where am I right now? What steps do I need to take to get to a place where I can start seeing myself as my own home? In my book, Welcome Home, the very first chapter is called The Road to Home. So how do you get to that place where you say, all right, I'm ready to build that space within me for myself? It starts with 2 elements. And if you want to visualize it, that road that you are paving towards the land where you're going to start building your home on, so that road that's bringing you back to yourself so that you could start building that home within, is made of 2 elements: self-awareness and self-acceptance. You're going to ask yourself, why is it that you are the way that you are? Why is it that you've been conditioned to abandon yourself to be in other people's lives? Why is it that you have depleted every source of energy and love and kindness within you just so somebody else could choose you? That awareness will bring you to the real reasons, the real patterns, the real traumas that showed up in your life from a young age that have stopped you from seeing yourself as worthy of your own love, your own kindness, your own attention, your own compassion, your own self-forgiveness. And then you can decide to accept yourself exactly as you are, instead of trying to get rid of all the things about you that make you too much, too sensitive, too needy, too clingy, too whatever the term is. Once you can sit with yourself and say, I accept myself as I am, and I am aware that when somebody walks away, it triggers certain things within me that make me behave in certain ways. I'm aware of that. And I accept that, not in a way that says I'm perfect and I don't need to work on anything, but in a way that says I accept it about myself as I try to change it within myself. Once you fully accept yourself and you're on that journey of being committed to fully accepting yourself, building that home within will be so not easy, but liberating. Think of the process of actually building a home, a house in real life. It's messy. When you're building that foundation, you're digging things out, you're putting things in, you're making sure that you have strong pillars. That's how I refer to them in Welcome Home. Something that your home in real life can stand on and stand the test of time, so that it's not wobbly, it doesn't have a shaky foundation. It takes time, it's messy, it requires a lot of work, a lot of attention to detail, a lot of deciding, I want this here, I want this there, a lot of learning new things. Why would you expect that building your home within is going to be any different? It's not easy. But the more and more you work on it, the more and more you start seeing that structure come into place. So take your time with it. Start with any minor step. I said it could be as simple as making little you a nice meal that they used to crave when they were younger. Because that's the process of meeting yourself. That's the process of saying, instead of taking my energy and putting it into somebody else who doesn't appreciate it, I'm going to put it back into a younger version of myself. Or I'm going to put it toward an older version of me. But I'm doing it for me. So start investing in younger versions of you, older versions of you, before you invest in people, hoping that they are going to look at you and say, you are worthy of me giving you my time and my love and my energy. The sooner you start building your home within, the sooner you will get rid of all the people in your life who are figuratively stomping all over you to elevate themselves while they break you down. I've said this a million times and I'm going to repeat it to you. When you build your home in other people, you give them the power to make you homeless. Does that mean they will make you homeless? Not always. Some people, the more you invest in them, the more they invest in you. And there's this beautiful reciprocity that helps the two of you grow together and build something together. But I'm assuming you've been building your home in all the wrong people who are willing to take, and then leave you when they can no longer get anything from you. It's like, I'm going to take you with all of these beautiful things that you have to give, and you're going to give me everything. And then when you have nothing left to give because you've given nothing to yourself to keep yourself going, I'm going to look at you and say, what do you have to offer me? I don't get anything from you anymore, so I'm going to move on to the next person. When you build your home in other people, you give them the power to make you homeless. Therefore, be cautious who you're building your home within. Be cautious of the people who are banking on you giving all your power away so that they could have power over you. Be cautious of that and start making decisions that will reveal who those people are to you in your life. Do you find yourself constantly the one who's extending yourself? Or do you find yourself getting that extension from them in return? If you feel like you are always the one that waters people in your life, like you always water the plants in your life, but no one waters you, you are in the wrong places. You are with the wrong people. The people who deserve to be in your life, the people who deserve your investment in building anything with them, will be there for you, not only in your times of need, but in your times of shining and in your times of doing so well. They will be there to amplify the light that you have emanating from within you, instead of doing the complete opposite and trying to humble you. Like, who do you think you are? Oh, you did that? Ooh, that's amazing. Good for you. Think of the people you have in your life and how they speak to you and how they react when something good happens in your life or when something bad happens in your life. Do they pay attention to you the same way you pay attention to them? Do they think of what you want or what you need or what makes you happy the same way you think for them? And in this way, with this awareness, you start making the conscious decision to spend more time investing in them or less time investing in them. I'm going to tell you, it's not like a switch that you just say, oh, I see that these people are not good for me, therefore I'm going to take them out of my life, and end of story. It doesn't work that way. Life doesn't work that way. Sometimes it does, rarely, but be gentle with yourself as you try to dismantle this really tight bond that holds you to them. Like, sometimes you have to cut a bit by bit by bit by bit until the very end, when that rope has like one little thread holding it together, and then you make that final cut. Don't be hard on yourself. Things take time. But promise me today that you will commit. Write it somewhere on your mirror, on a sticky note, on your phone, wherever you look, on your desk at work. Write, today I promise to stop building my home in other people and start building my home within. I hope this helps, and have a lovely day.